new story titled, The Blood-Sucking Charm. Before we begin, if you enjoy this story, please give me a like and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for listening. Now, let's dive into the darkness. It was a windy night in Hanoi. The wind howled through the long, abandoned hospital corridors, carrying with it the stench of disinfectant mixed with the damp, moldy smell of peeling walls. The fluorescent lights flickered weakly, like someone taking their final breath. In that eerie silence, 3 medical students stood close together. My name is Min. Beside me were Duck and Lin. We were on our final internship, assigned to an old nursing wing that had been shut down for years. Rumor had it that patients once died mysteriously there. Duck nudged my shoulder. "Hey Min, you hear that? Something's down in the basement." I squinted toward the dark stairwell. The single bulb above us swayed slightly, its light faint like mist. "Probably just a cat," I said. "You're too jumpy." Lynn crossed her arms, her voice trembling. "I'm not sure. When I walked by earlier, the basement door was open, and I think someone was standing there." I forced a smirk, trying to sound calm even though a chill ran down my spine. "That place hasn't been used in decades. Let's check it out. Maybe we'll find some old medical notes." Duck grumbled. "There you go again. Curiosity gonna kill you one day. You were the one who touched a corpse last time and still laughed about it. We're doomed, man." I turned on my flashlight. The wooden steps creaked under my feet as we descended. Cold air brushed the back of my neck like someone's breath. "Come on, Duck, it's fine." The basement was pitch dark. The smell of rust and mold was suffocating. The walls were covered in moss, the ceiling so low Duck had to duck his head. In one corner stood an old metal cabinet, rusted and thick with dust. My flashlight caught a wooden plaque with faded Chinese characters. Lin touched it lightly, her voice trembling. "It says, Gai Huyat, do not open." Duck stepped back. "Hell no. Anything that says do not open is bad news." I leaned closer. Beneath the plaque was a small nailed wooden box, dark and ancient, its lid marked with a red circular symbol that looked disturbingly like dried blood. "Maybe it's some old French-era specimen. Could be valuable." Lin grabbed my arm. "Don't, Min, I have a bad feeling about this." I looked at Duck. "Let's just take a peek. We won't touch anything." He cursed under his breath but shone his light to help. As I pried out the rusty nails, the creaking echoed through the basement like screams. When the lid finally came off, a wave of foul, metallic air rushed out. Inside was a small ceramic jar filled with a dark red liquid, thick and sticky like coagulated blood. Next to it lay a black notebook filled with messy Chinese handwriting. Duck covered his nose. "Is that human blood?" I lifted the jar toward the light. Something shimmered inside, like a shadow moving. A faint smoke began to rise. Lin gasped. "Oh my God, it's breathing." Suddenly, the flashlight went out. Darkness swallowed us whole. We could hear faint breathing, not ours. A freezing breeze slid down our necks. Duck shouted, his voice shaking. "Who's behind me?" No answer, just a murmur, like ancient chanting in a language none of us knew. I felt the jar pulsing, warm, as if it had a heartbeat. "Lin, Duck, run." We bolted up the stairs. As soon as we reached the door, the iron gate slammed shut behind us with a deafening clang. The echo lingered like someone sobbing. We sat in the corridor, gasping for air. Lin trembled. "I told you, something alive is down there." I looked at my hand. There was a red smear on my finger. It smelled metallic, like fresh blood. I instinctively licked it. Salty. Duck stared at me. "What the hell are you doing, Min?" "Probably just old blood. It's fine." But then, a whisper crawled into my mind, as if someone spoke right next to my ear. "You have awakened me." I jerked up, scanning the hall. Nothing. The lights flickered once and went out. Lin clutched my arm. "Min, Your face, it's gone pale. Let's go home. I nodded. The three of us left the old hospital wing and locked the door behind us. At the gate, the elderly security guard glanced our way. You kids went down to the basement, didn't you? I nodded again. Yes, sir, we just took a quick look. He sighed, his gaze drifting into the distance. You shouldn't mess with things down there. Years ago, 3 students opened something they shouldn't have, all of them died. Duck forced a laugh. Come on, old man, trying to scare us? Nobody believes that stuff anymore. The guard's eyes fixed on me. Believe what you want, but remember this. If you ever see blood flowing upward, or smell iron in your dreams, don't turn around. I tried to laugh it off, but a chill crept through me. His words stuck in my head like a nail driven deep. That night, back in the dormitory, I couldn't sleep. The wind howled outside, scraping against the windows. In the darkness, I heard it, breathing. Right beside my bed. Thinking it was Duck playing around, I whispered, "Duck, stop messing with me." No answer. I turned on the desk lamp, its light revealed nothing but emptiness. Duke's bed was empty. Lynn stirred from the opposite bed. What is it, Min? My voice shook. And nothing. The light suddenly went out. A long, rasping hiss came from the corner of the room. Then, I saw it. A dark shape leaning close to my ear, whispering in a hoarse, broken voice. You've released me, Min. My neck locked tight. I couldn't move. A cold, clammy hand slid across my cheek. I tried to scream, but my mouth felt sealed shut. Lynn shrieked, yanking her blanket and switching on the bedside lamp. Light flooded the room, and everything vanished. We stared at each other, pale as ghosts. You heard it too? She asked. Yeah. On the wall, a thin streak of blood was slowly running upward, crawling toward the ceiling. The wind moaned through the window again. And beneath it, a faint whisper lingered, soft, amused, like someone laughing in the dark. For the next 3 nights, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard whispering, like someone chanting in a strange, ancient language. Sometimes it sounded like my name, other times, like a child crying in the dark. The first night, I dreamed I was standing in the old hospital corridor. The walls were damp, the floor icy cold. From the far end, a trail of blood crept upward toward me, slithering slowly like a red serpent. I tried to step back, but my feet were glued to the ground. Then, from within that stream of blood, a hand emerged. Its fingers long and thin, and yanked me down. I woke up drenched in sweat, heart pounding, throat dry. It's just a dream, I muttered, just a dream. But in the morning, there was a dark red stain on my sleeve, dried and sticky. It smelled metallic, like blood. I scrubbed it for hours before it finally faded. Duck yawned over a cup of instant noodles. Dude, I dreamed about you last night. You were on the balcony, smiling, with blood running down your eyes. Creepy as hell. I froze. You dreamed about me? Yeah, clear as day. I even heard someone chanting, like a monk or something. When I woke up, you were sitting on your bed, staring out the window. A chill ran down my spine. I wasn't awake, I whispered. Lynn, sitting at the corner desk, spoke softly. Neither of you were dreaming. I heard the chanting too, and in the bathroom mirror, I saw someone standing behind me. No one said another word. The room fell silent. Outside, the city was alive with street noise and morning announcements, yet my chest felt hollow and cold. That evening, we were assigned to the night shift in the anatomy department. The morgue was small and damp, filled with the stench of formaldehyde. Duck groaned. I told you, working nights with corpses around is bad luck. I forced a smile. Come on, we're med students. If you're scared of dead bodies, how'll you ever be a doctor? Lynn looked at me, eyes worried. Ever since you opened that box, you've changed. You speak coldly, like you're not you anymore. I said nothing. Something deep inside me stirred, something both familiar and foreign. Every now and then, I heard that voice again, whispering gently, "They fear you, only I understand you." Later that night, while Lynn stepped out to get water, Duck sat beside me and whispered, "Min, tell me the truth, did you take something from that box?" "No, I just looked at it." "I saw you. Man, you slipped that little jar into your pocket." My hand went cold. I reached into my coat and felt it. The same small ceramic jar. The lid was open. Inside, the thick red liquid was bubbling softly. Duck recoiled. "Are you insane? Why would you keep that?" "I don't know. I thought I left it in the basement." Lynn came back, froze when she saw it. "Throw it away. Min, please." I tightened my grip. A voice echoed in my mind, clear, smooth, persuasive. "Don't abandon me. I will give you strength." I screamed and hurled the jar to the floor. It didn't shatter, just rolled, then stopped in the center of the room. Thin smoke rose from it, twisting into the shape of a face. Its eyes were pitch black. Its mouth moved, smiling. Duck lunged forward, covering it with a towel. We pressed ourselves against the wall, hearts hammering. Lynn trembled. "I told you, something lives inside that jar." Cold sweat ran down my back. "No, impossible." The voice returned, softer, sweeter this time. "You have chosen. There is no escape now." Silence swallowed the room. Only the faint dripping from a pipe echoed, slow, steady, like the heartbeat of someone about to die. Duke's voice quivered. "I'm going to find that old guard. He knows something." He bolted out the door. As it swung shut, the ceiling light flickered. Lynn and I stood frozen. The air grew thick, hard to breathe. Then, a cold draft swept through. The window burst open. The jar on the floor began to tremble, the red liquid bubbling wildly until it spilled out like real blood. Lynn screamed, "It's bleeding." I stumbled back and slipped, my hand plunging into the crimson pool, freezing cold. In an instant, a vision flashed before my eyes. A man in a black robe, holding a bamboo staff, stood by Hon Kiem Lake, chanting under the moonlight. Dozens of corpses surrounded him. I saw his face, sunken eyes, bluish lips, a red mark carved into his forehead like the word, Guy. He looked straight at me and whispered, "You were born of my blood." I jolted awake, gasping. Lynn was still trembling beside me. The jar lay still on the floor. No blood, only that awful metallic smell. The door burst open. Duck ran in, out of breath. I found the guard. He said someone once opened the same box. 3 days later, he went mad, cut his own hand to draw a circle in blood, then died. The air turned heavy, suffocating. Lynn dropped to her knees, eyes red. "It's a curse. We're cursed." I stood motionless. Then the voice whispered again, distant but clear. "On the night of the full moon, I will return." I looked at the clock. The second hand struck 12. Moonlight poured through the window, round and red as blood. A black cat leapt past the sill, howling long and low, tearing through the silence. I shivered, cold to the bone. Since that night, my mind hasn't been quiet. Every time I close my eyes, I hear a whisper, sometimes near, sometimes far, sometimes right beside my ear. The voice isn't threatening, it's gentle, almost soothing, like a lullaby. It calls my name, each syllable drawn out clearly. "Min, do you find blood beautiful?" I shake my head, trying to block it out, but it clings to me. Sometimes I see things that can't be real. Hanoi's streets at night drenched in red. Faceless people wandering aimlessly. Duck noticed I was acting strange. "You've been talking to yourself a lot lately. Are you stressed out?" I gave a weak laugh. "No, I'm fine." Lynn didn't say anything, but I could tell she was worried. Every night, she lit incense and whispered prayers. The smell of smoke drifted softly through the room. One evening, she handed me a small talisman. "I got this from a fortune teller at the market. She said if you wear it, your dreams will stop. I looked at the faded yellow charm and sighed. Lynn, I'm a med student. I don't believe in this stuff. But something's following you. Every night, I hear footsteps in the hallway. But when I open the door, no one's there. Duck chimed in. Just wear it anyway. Doesn't hurt to try. Reluctantly, I slipped it into my coat pocket. Instantly, a sharp sting shot through my head, like something inside me was angry. The whisper returned. They don't understand you, only I do. A shiver ran down my spine. My throat felt dry and tight. That afternoon, we were assigned to sort old files in the hospital's archive room, right next to the abandoned surgical ward. The place was dim, dust motes swirling in the light through a small window. As I opened a drawer, I found a stack of moldy records, yellowed with age. On the cover, Patient, Nguyen Van Tin, year 1940. My heart skipped. That was the name from my dream, the man in the black robe. I trembled as I opened the file. Inside were handwritten notes. Patient suffers from hallucinations, claims he can create life from blood, performed strange rituals by Hon Kiem Lake, missing, body never found. My eyes locked on the final line. Believed capable of transferring his own blood into another through an ancient ritual. Forming a spiritual link. My throat tightened. It felt like someone was standing right behind me, reading along. I spun around, no one, just a flickering light. Then came that voice again. Yes, I am Tin. My blood flows within you. I collapsed into the chair, breath heavy, the air thick with the smell of iron. Duck called from the hall. Min, you done yet? Let's grab dinner. Go ahead, I murmured. I just need a few more minutes. When he left, the voice spoke again. You set me free. You are my vessel. Offer blood, and I'll give you strength. No one can stop us. I clutched my head, but the whisper wouldn't stop. The room began to change before my eyes. The walls turned red. The floor rippled as if soaked in blood. In the middle of the floor, the ceramic jar appeared again. Its lid opened. Red mist poured out, twisting into a human face. Get away, I shouted. The face grinned, teeth black as coal. No, I am you now. The world spun, and everything went black. When I came to, night had fallen. Duck and Lynn were beside me, faces pale with worry. You fainted in the archive room, Duck said. They called us down. If the doctor hadn't checked, you could have been in trouble. I sat up, head pounding. I heard someone talking to me. Duck frowned. Who? The sorcerer. His name is Go Dui Tin. He said his blood is in me. Lynn's hands trembled. How do you know that name? I pointed to the file on the table. It's written there, but I hadn't read it before. The air grew heavy. Out in the hallway, the lights flickered. We heard the soft slap of sandals approaching. The door creaked open. The old security guard peeked in. You three still here? It's late. Duck nodded. Yes, sir, we're finishing up. The old man's eyes fell on the file. His face drained of color. Who gave you that? I found it in the cabinet, I said. He exhaled sharply. That's the record of sorcerer Go Dui Tin. He was hunted down for performing blood rituals. Before he died, he swore his blood would live on in whoever broke the seal. Duck looked at me. So, you mean? The old man's gaze hardened. It means this boy has been chosen. The words cut deep. Lynn burst into tears. No, Min didn't do anything wrong. The old man sighed, pulling a worn paper talisman from his pocket. Take this. If you wake and feel something sitting on your chest tonight, don't look it in the face. I accepted it with trembling hands. Thank you. He stared into my eyes. Don't thank me, just pray it's not too late. When he left, the faint scent of incense lingered. Duck and Lynn headed out, telling me to rest. I stayed behind, staring at the charm. Wind swept through the window. The paper fluttered. Then, softly, like a breath, the voice returned. You think a scrap of paper can stop me, Min? My fist clenched. A burning pain shot through my palm. When I looked down, blood was seeping from my fingertip. No pain, just the metallic sweetness filling the air. A drop hit the floor, spreading into a small circle, then darkened, forming the same sigil that had been carved on the box. The voice laughed. "Good, the gate is open." A noise came from behind. I turned toward the wall mirror and saw a figure standing inside it. Its face was black as ash, its eyes stark white. It raised a skeletal finger, pointing straight at me. "Your turn, vessel." I screamed, and the world went dark. When I woke up, my head was pounding, my body drenched in sweat. It felt like I had just survived a battle with no end. My eyes locked on the ceiling while the world spun around me. I sat up slowly, every muscle aching as if someone had beaten me. The mirror on the desk was fogged, reflecting a faint blur of my own shape. I stared into it, then froze. I wasn't alone in the reflection. Behind me stood another figure, his face pitch black, eyes wide and milky white, staring right at me. I jumped up and turned around. Nothing. No one was there, only the mirror, showing my reflection still standing. But the figure in the glass hadn't vanished. I staggered back, gasping. This can't be real. Yet in the mirror, the man remained, his pale eyes never blinked, his thin lips curling into a smile. Then he spoke. "You think you can escape me?" I swallowed hard and stepped closer. My trembling hand reached out to touch the glass. The moment my fingertip brushed its cold surface, the man lunged forward, those white eyes glowing as if to swallow me whole. I screamed and stumbled back onto the bed. The room dimmed instantly, a heavy fog rolling in from nowhere. Moonlight filtered weakly through the window, but the shadow in the mirror didn't fade. Lynn and Duck burst into the room to find me trembling on the bed, face pale. "Min, what happened? Did you see something in the mirror?" I pointed with a shaking finger. He's still there. He won't disappear." Lynn rushed over, turned the mirror away. "Don't look at it, Min." She pulled me off the bed and dragged me toward the door. Duck followed close behind, flashlight in hand. The world blurred around me, as if we were moving through thick mist. My pulse thundered in my ears. I could barely move, my head spun, and everything felt distant, like I was drifting between two worlds. That night in the dorm, I couldn't sleep. My eyes stayed wide open, fixed on the mirror across the room. Every time I blinked, I saw his face, those ghostly white eyes burrowing into my mind, burning into my thoughts. Then came a sound. Soft footsteps in the hallway, followed by a faint scratching at the door. I froze. The moonlight poured in, cold and silver. The scratching grew louder, slow, deliberate knocks. 1, 2, 3. I crept to the door, opened it. The corridor was empty, nothing but darkness. I turned back and saw him again. The figure in the mirror was standing upright now, no longer drifting. His hands clutched his stomach, and his grin was mocking, hateful. Behind me, Lynn's voice trembled. "Min, what are you looking at?" "Nothing," I muttered, though my heart pounded so hard I could barely breathe. It felt like something had its hands around my chest, squeezing. Something inside me was taking control. Duck pushed the door open wider. Flashlight raised. "Min, talk to me. What's wrong with you?" I stared at him but couldn't speak. My body moved on its own, drawn toward the mirror. I looked into it again, my reflection stared back, but my eyes weren't mine anymore. The man in the mirror smirked. "You've done well. You will lead me back, Min." The words brushed across my mind like an icy wind. I stared deeper, and saw his eyes glowing within mine. They weren't separate anymore. The next day, no matter where I went, I felt his presence. In every corner, every shadow, every reflection, he was there, following me. I was marked, bound to him. Lynn's hands trembled as she handed me the same talisman from before. "Min, I don't know what's happening, but please, keep this with you. Maybe it'll help you sleep." Maybe it'll stop the nightmares. I didn't answer. I just took the charm. The voice in my mind laughed softly. You'll never escape. That night, I felt my strength draining away, as if something was feeding on me, siphoning my breath, my life. But deep inside, there was also a strange heat, a power burning under my skin, wild and uncontrollable. The voice returned, colder than ever. You are mine now, Min. I will never let you go. I clutched my head, sweat pouring down my face. But in the darkness, I knew the truth. It was already too late. He was inside me, and he would never let go. Hanoi that morning was gray and heavy, fog blanketing the streets. The wind cut through like knives even though winter had only just begun. I sat in a small roadside cafe, fingers wrapped around a cup of thick black coffee, but I couldn't drink it. My mind was chaos. The voice, the shadow, they were still with me. I glanced at the mirror on the cafe wall. My face looked pale, eyes sunken with dark circles. But behind my reflection, I caught a glimpse of a man in a black robe standing right behind my chair. I spun around. No one. Across from me, Duck sighed. You're not okay, Min. I mean it. Take a few days off. Go see a doctor. I smirked weakly. A doctor? You think I'm crazy? No, but you're not yourself anymore. Do you even know you stood staring at the mirror for 4 hours yesterday? You didn't blink once. I said nothing. Lynn gently placed her hand on my shoulder. Min, maybe we should find that old guard again. He knew about this. Maybe he can help. Outside, traffic roared. Life went on as if nothing was wrong. But for me, the world had split in two, one everyone could see, and one only I was trapped in. Yeah, I muttered. Tonight, we'll go. That night, the three of us took a bus to the outskirts of the city, to where the old guard said he lived. The path to his house wound through a mossy village lane, lined with overgrown weeds and cracked stone walls. The yellow streetlights flickered weakly, as if struggling to stay alive. Lynn clutched my hand. It's freezing. Why is this road so empty? Duck led the way, flashlight in hand. They call this place Burnt Temple Hamlet. They say a witch burning happened here long ago. Dozens died. The name made my stomach tighten. Something about it felt familiar. Then, a whisper echoed softly in my head. This is where I once lived. My blood still stains this earth. I froze. A faint metallic scent carried on the wind. Duck shined the flashlight at the ground. The dirt here was dark, wet, as if soaked in something, though it hadn't rained. The old guard's house sat at the end of the lane, a crumbling tile roof, flaking walls, the door slightly ajar. Inside was pitch black. Duck knocked. Sir, it's us, the students from the hospital. No answer. He knocked again, harder. Sir, are you there? The door creaked open slowly. A mix of incense smoke and mold filled the air. A dim oil lamp flickered over a small altar. On the bed nearby lay a body, covered with a thin mat. Lynn gasped, clutching my arm. He's dead. We stepped inside. The old man's face was gray, lifeless. Beside him was a bowl of thick red liquid, like blood, and a half-burned talisman. Duck swallowed hard. Someone was here before us. Just then, a loud thud came from the back door. I spun around. A tall, thin man stepped in, wearing a black raincoat and a conical hat that hid his face. His voice was low and gravelly. You're too late. He didn't make it. Lynn stepped back. Who are you? The one he called for help, the man said, but whatever's clinging to that boy, he pointed at me, is too strong. I froze, my whole body cold. It's an ancient blood charm, he continued, not the usual kind. It doesn't just feed on blood, it devours the soul. Duck stepped forward. Can it be removed? The man shook his head. If the box were still sealed, maybe, but once opened, and once blood is shared, there's only one path left. My voice trembled. What path? He looked straight at me. A life for a life. Silence filled the room. The lamp flame wavered. Lin burst into tears. No, Min did nothing wrong. The man rested a hand on my shoulder, eyes full of sorrow. This curse was born of guilt. It only binds to a tainted soul. Ask yourself, boy, what are you hiding? My fists clenched. Deep inside, the voice returned, soft and mocking. See, they'll turn on you. Only I stand beside you. Shut up, I screamed. Duck grabbed me by the shoulders. Min, who are you talking to? My breath came out ragged. The smell of blood thickened in the air. I looked down, my hands were wet. Sticky. Blood. I didn't even know whose. The man in black pulled out a small pouch filled with white salt and red thread. Tonight, you must go to where the blood charm was born, Hon Kiem Lake. Beneath it lies the old seal. Face it, and you might bind it again. But only once. I swallowed hard. And if I fail? His answer was quiet, steady. Then you'll become it, a hollow shell walking between worlds. When we left the house, the wind had turned fierce. The streets were empty. Every few steps, I heard footsteps behind me, but when I turned, there was nothing. Only my shadow under the streetlight, with two heads. Lin gripped my hand tight. Min, your shadow? Why does it have two heads? I forced a laugh. Just the light. That's all. But I knew it wasn't. The whisper in my head curled like smoke, cold and cruel. Just one more night, Min, when the full moon rises, I will be you. The wind howled through the trees. The leaves rustled like whispers of the dead. And I knew then, the real battle had only just begun. That night, Hanoi was unnaturally still. Hon Kiem Lake shimmered under the full moon like a massive mirror. The air was calm, yet so cold it felt like needles pricking the skin. I stood with Duck and Lin at the water's edge, the silence pressing down as though the entire city was holding its breath. From behind the willows, the man in the black coat emerged, carrying a brown cloth bag that clinked faintly with the sound of metal. This is the night when the yin energy is strongest, he said in a low voice. If we don't act now, the charm will consume you completely. I nodded, fear rising inside but knowing there was no turning back. Duck put a hand on my shoulder, eyes firm. We go together, you're not doing this alone. Lin clutched the talisman tight, whispering, whatever happens, don't listen to the voice in your head. The man warned us slowly, his tone solemn. There's only one chance. When I light the candles, you must let your blood fall into the lake. If the spirit appears, don't be afraid. You must look straight into its eyes. I swallowed. And if I fail? Then none of you will leave this place alive. Lin went pale but didn't move. The moon climbed high, its light spilling silver across the lake. The wind stopped, even the air seemed frozen. I could hear my own heartbeat. The man placed 3 black candles in a triangle at the shore and sprinkled salt around them. From his bag, he drew a small ritual dagger, the handle carved with a coiled serpent. Cut your palm, he said, so the charm will recognize its master, and then reject it. I held out my hand. The blade was icy. It sliced across my skin, and blood welled up, thick and dark. Gritting my teeth, I let each drop fall into the lake. The moment the first drop hit the water, ripples spread outward. A foul, metallic scent filled the air. The lake began to churn. The man's chanting mixed with the wind, low and mournful, like someone crying in another world. Then the water boiled. Shadows rose from below, shapes like hands reaching from the depths. Lin staggered back, covering her mouth. Duck swung his flashlight toward the lake and shouted, Min, look! From the swirling water, a figure emerged. Eyes milky white, mouth stretched into an unnatural grin. Its body glistened, dripping red as if made of living blood. It spoke in a hoarse whisper. You called me, and now you want to cast me away? My knees trembled, but I forced myself to stand. I didn't call you. I'm ending this. You are me, Min. My blood flows through you. I only wanted to make you strong. The thing reached its hand across the surface, dragging streaks of crimson through the water. The lake turned dark and thick. The man in black shouted, "Look it in the eye. Min, if you fear it, you'll lose." I forced my eyes open. The wind roared, making the candles flicker violently. The voice tore through my head again, cold, venomous. "Don't listen to them. They want to kill you. Remember, I'm the only one who never left you." I dropped to my knees, clutching my skull. The noise was unbearable. Wind, waves, whispers, all blending into madness. Duck grabbed me by the arm. "Stay with me, Min. If you fall, we're all dead." "Shut up," I screamed. Pain seared through my head. And then, I saw him. The sorcerer, Go Dewey Tin, the man in the black robe from my dreams. He smiled. "You've lived for me now. My blood, your skin, we are one." "No," I roared. Blood burst from my palm, splattering across the surface of the lake. Light flared, then darkness swallowed everything. The wind howled, extinguishing all the candles. Silence. "Min, where are you?" Lynn cried out through sobs. "I'm here," I managed to whisper. The man struck a match and relit one candle. Its dim glow fell across my face. Duck stared, speechless. A red mark was spreading across my neck, a perfect circle, glowing faintly like the sigil on the cursed box. The man's expression twisted in horror. "No, the charm's reversed itself. It's chosen to stay." None of us moved. The lake was no longer silver, it was turning red. Rings of blood rippled outward, reflecting the moon like a dozen demonic eyes. I looked down, and saw no reflection of myself. Only him, the man in the black robe, staring up from beneath the surface. Smiling. His voice echoed in my skull, every word clear as ice. "You've offered your blood, now I will take your soul." Before I could react, a violent gust surged upward. The lake erupted into a whirlpool, dragging me down. Duck lunged, grabbing my arm. Lynn screamed. But my hand was slipping, cold as stone. "Don't," the man shouted. "Anyone who touches him will be taken too." The water closed over my head. The cold cut through to the bone. In the darkness, two white eyes glowed, moving closer. "Welcome back, vessel." I tried to fight, but my breath vanished. Somewhere far above, I heard the muffled beat of a drum, the rush of water, the world fading into silence. Then the moon went dark and flared bright again, shining down on the calm, empty lake as if nothing had ever happened. When Duck and Lynn pulled themselves onto the shore, the water was still. I was gone. Only my white lab coat floated near the reeds, stained with blood. Lynn collapsed, sobbing. Duck sank beside her, his voice trembling. "You're really gone, Min." But deep beneath the surface, if one looked closely enough, a shadow stood motionless at the bottom of the lake, its eyes pale and hollow, staring toward the shore. The morning after the storm, Hanoi lay under a thick veil of fog. Mist drifted across Hon Kiem Lake, ghostly and gray. Police tape still surrounded the area as officers searched for a missing person. They said it was probably just a drowning, then shook their heads and left. No one really knew what happened that night. Duck and Lynn stood quietly by the shore, dark circles under their sleepless eyes. 3 days had passed, no sign of Min. Only his blood-stained white lab coat had surfaced, the stain spreading like some creeping curse. Duck bit his lip, his voice hoarse. He was a strong swimmer, no way he sank that fast. Lynn gripped the hem of her jacket, eyes red. "He's not dead. I can feel him, he's still here." The wind stirred. Ripples spread across the lake's surface. Somewhere below, the water made a faint sound, like soft laughter. That night, Duck returned to his rented room near the hospital. The place was silent except for the ticking clock. On the desk lay a photo of the three of us from our internship days. The yellow lamp cast a glow over Min's face in the picture, making Duck shiver. The glass of water beside it trembled. Duck frowned. "Strange, there's no wind." He got up to close the window. When he turned back, The glass had toppled over. Water spilled across the desk, dragging the photo to the floor. He bent down to pick it up, but the moment his fingers touched the edge, he flinched. The photo was icy cold, soaking wet. And worse, Min's face in the picture was no longer smiling. He was staring straight out, eyes hollow. Duck stumbled back, heart pounding. "I'm just tired, just imagining things." He forced a laugh, but in the mirror behind him, a shadow stood motionless. The light flickered once and went out. Darkness swallowed the room. From the corner came the faint shuffle of footsteps. "Who's there?" Duck called. "Lin?" No reply. Only the sound of water dripping, slow, steady. He turned on his phone's flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, glinting off the wet floor, slick, shining, as if someone had just walked in from the rain. Footprints led from the door straight toward him, and stopped. Right at his feet. His voice shook. "Min, is that you?" No answer. Just a cold breath against his face. Then, in the dim light, a pale, cracked hand slowly rested on his shoulder. A low, rasping voice whispered behind him. "Long time no see." Duck screamed and spun around. Min stood there, soaked to the bone, shirt stiff with dried blood, skin deathly white. His eyes were cloudy, with no pupils at all. Duke's voice broke. You're alive?" Min's mouth twisted into a crooked smile. "Yeah, I came back, but something's different now." He lifted his hand, veins dark blue beneath translucent skin. Drops of water fell to the floor, reeking faintly of iron. Duck trembled. "You're freezing?" Min said nothing. His gaze drifted around the room, distant and empty. Then he spoke softly. "Duck, I remember that night. Something pulled me down. It wasn't the water. It felt like hands. Cold, so tight I couldn't move." "Stop," Duck gasped. "Don't talk about it. You're here now. That's what matters." Min turned his head slowly, his voice almost a whisper. "You think I really came back?" His eyes darkened. "I never left the lake." As the words fell, the room lights began to flicker wildly. On the wall, Min's shadow stretched long, twice its size, warped and twisted. Then, it started to move independently. It tore away from him, standing on its own. Duck backed up, shaking. What is that?" Min turned to look. The shadow grinned, its mouth splitting all the way to the neck. A guttural hiss echoed through the room. "The blood isn't enough yet, Min," Duck shouted, hurling his phone at the wall. The screen shattered, the light went out. Darkness again. As he stumbled toward the door, something cold and hard gripped his neck and yanked him back. Min's voice came from right behind him, flat, lifeless, like someone else was speaking through him. "You're leaving me, Duck? You said we'd always stay together." His fingers tightened, nails digging deep into flesh. Duck clawed at his hand, gasping. "Let me go?" Min's blank eyes stared straight through him. "What if I told you? I can't control it anymore?" A shrill ringing filled Duke's skull, like 1,000 mosquitoes buzzing at once. His vision tilted, then went black. When he came to, morning light seeped through the curtains. He was lying on the cold floor. The room was dead silent. Min was gone. No trace, except for a small puddle of water beside him. He stood up, trembling. On the wall were 2 bloody handprints, side by side. Between them, scrawled in red letters, "I'm inside him." Duck collapsed to his knees, sweat pouring down his face. Outside, the distant church bell tolled, slow and heavy. Down the narrow alley below, a man in a conical hat passed by. He looked up toward Duke's window and smiled. His face was dripping wet. His eyes, white as bone. It was Min. Hanoi at night was wrapped in fog so thick it looked like smoke. In the distance, car horns echoed faintly through the mist, sounding less like traffic and more like someone groaning in pain. Inside Lin's small rented room, a dim lamp cast a yellow glow on the wall. She couldn't sleep. For several nights now, she'd felt it, that eerie sensation of someone watching her through the window whenever she turned off the lights. She grabbed her phone. 2 a.m. The last message from Duck was still there. "Min's back. Something's wrong. I'm scared." He hadn't replied since. Worry tightening her chest, Lynn threw on a jacket and went out. The narrow alley was long and silent, the faint yellow streetlights flickering weakly. Her sandals slapped against the wet bricks, echoing with each cautious step. When she reached Duke's door, she called softly, "Duck, open up, it's Lynn." No answer. The door was slightly ajar. She pushed it open. It creaked loudly. Inside was pitch dark, only the steady drip of water breaking the silence. She turned on her flashlight. The beam swept across overturned chairs, puddles spreading across the floor. Then she saw it, smeared across the wall in uneven strokes of blood. "I'm inside him." Lynn gasped and staggered backward, breath trembling. "Duck, where are you?" No reply. Only the wind moaning through the cracks, like whispers in a dead language. She turned to flee when a familiar voice murmured behind her. "Looking for Duck?" Her heart froze. "Min." He stood in the corner, half his body dripping wet, water falling from his sleeves to the floor in slow, heavy drops. His face was pale, yet the faint smile was the same as ever. "Been a while," he said softly. Lynn stepped back, voice shaking. Where have you been? Where's Duck?" Min tilted his head. "Duck? He's gone." "Gone? What do you mean?" He walked closer, each step leaving a long wet trail. "He said he was tired, so I let him rest." The flashlight caught his hand, the fingernails dark blue, fingertips blackened as if burned. Veins bulged green beneath cracked skin that oozed thin red fluid. Lynn gripped her phone tight, backing toward the door. "Min, something's wrong with you." He stopped, smirking. "Wrong? Look at me." "Lynn, do normal people come back from the bottom of a lake?" He lifted his head. His eyes were milky white. "There's something growing inside me. It whispers every night, teaching me how to breathe, how to hear other people's hearts." The air thickened, heavy and suffocating. Lynn wanted to scream, but no sound came out. Min took another step forward. "Can you hear it? My heartbeat?" He grabbed her wrist. His hand was icy, slick with moisture. Lynn cried out, struggling. "Let me go. You're not yourself." Min's gaze flickered between pain and something distant, hollow. "I don't want to hurt you," he whispered, "but it does. It's hungry." Her lips trembled. What is it?" He lowered his head, voice rough and fading. "The blood charm, the thing we opened together." Then he clutched his head, nails digging into his scalp. "It's in my blood. Every time I fight it, it stabs me from the inside, hundreds of needles. I can't stand it anymore." He fell to his knees, gasping. The veins on his neck bulged, his eyes flared red. A foul metallic stench filled the room as white mist poured from his mouth. Lynn screamed. "Min!" He raised his face, twisted, the skin on his cheeks beginning to peel away. Another voice spoke through his mouth, deep and rasping. "I'm starving. I want blood." Min roared, slamming his head to the floor, fighting to resist. "Get out. Leave me alone." Lynn cried, torn between fear and pity. She rushed forward, trying to grab his hands. "Min, please, you have to fight it." His whole body shook violently. "You don't understand," he gasped. "It's part of me now." Then he grinned, wild, unhinged. "I can even hear your voice inside it. It says you belong to me." Lynn screamed and tore herself free, bolting for the door. But as soon as she pulled it open, something slammed it shut from the outside. A freezing wind burst through the room, snuffing out the flashlight. Darkness swallowed everything. Only Min's ragged breathing and the slow drip of water. In the pitch black, his pale eyes gleamed faintly. The voice spoke again, broken and drawn out. "Don't run. Stay with us." Lynn ran, down the hall, Her footsteps thundered, chased by the echo of another set behind her. At the staircase, she turned, no one there. But above, Min stood on the landing, staring down at her. Water dripped from his feet, spreading across the steps like veins of ice. His voice was low, even, and chilling. "You can't escape." Then, the hallway lights flickered. Behind Min, another shadow appeared, identical to him, except for its eyes, black, endless voids. The shadow whispered, "I told you, the girl is mine." Min screamed, clutching his head, tumbling down the stairs. The sound of his body hitting the concrete echoed through the entire building. Terrified, Lin fled outside, into the rain. She didn't look back. But as she ran past a shop window, something caught her eye, her reflection. Behind her, there weren't one, but two shadows following. Morning broke gray and heavy over Hanoi. A fine drizzle clung to the air, turning the streets into streaks of silver. On the news, the anchor's calm voice reported a strange death in a suburban boarding house. A young man named Duck was found lifeless on the floor. His skin was pale, unmarked, but every drop of blood in his body was gone. Lin sat frozen, staring at her phone screen, heart pounding in her chest. She knew no one would believe it, but deep down, she understood. It was it. Throwing on a raincoat, she rushed through the mist to the abandoned house where the exorcist, the man in the black coat, had once lived. The old wooden door was still there, damp and warped, the faint scent of burning incense hanging in the air. She banged on the door. "Master, it's Lin, the blood charm, it's back." No answer. She pushed it open. The hinges groaned. Inside, the air was thick, cold, and stale. Incense still smoldered, curling smoke toward the ceiling, but the place felt deserted, as if recently abandoned. On the altar lay a fresh piece of yellow talisman paper, scrawled in trembling red ink. "When the charm splits its shadow, one must die so the other can live." The words sent a chill down her spine. Behind her, faint footsteps creaked across the damp wooden floor. She spun around. "Who's there?" A familiar rasp answered. "It's me, Min." Lin froze, backing up until her shoulders hit the altar. Min stepped out from the shadows, face hollow, eyes sunken deep. He looked less like a man than a ghost. "Why are you following me?" she stammered. "I heard you call," he said slowly. "Every time you're afraid, it wakes up." Her throat tightened. "What do you mean, it?" He didn't reply. His hands trembled violently. Thin streams of blood began to seep from his wrists. Then, on the floor beside him, his shadow moved. It didn't follow him, it rose. Stretching upward, it took human shape, black and solid as ink. The voice that came from it was deep and coarse. "It's time, Min, you don't need this mortal shell anymore." Min's eyes flared. "No, you can't take me. I'm human. You're just the part that was sealed away." The shadow laughed softly. "Without me, you are nothing. Your blood is mine." The room shook. The incense flames flared bright, smoke twisting wildly. Lin screamed. "Stop, you're both the same person." Min looked at her, voice cracking. "Run, Lin, if I lose, it'll come for you next." Before she could move, the shadow lunged, a swirl of black smoke slamming into Min's body. He screamed, collapsing to his knees. Purple veins bulged across his skin, his eyes turned completely black. When he looked up, it was no longer Min speaking. "I told you, he was weak. Now, only I remain." Lin trembled. "Give him back to me." The thing in Min's body grinned. Too late. He lifted a hand, just a gesture, and the entire room shook. Candles burst, the altar toppled, and the floor trembled beneath her. Lin was thrown backward, landing near the door. The voice boomed, low and steady. "You opened the charm box. Now you'll feed it." "I didn't mean to. I didn't know." "Intent doesn't matter. Your blood joined the ritual that night. Now the charm has chosen you." He moved closer, his shadow stretching across the floor until it touched her feet. His pale eyes gleamed with inhuman hunger. "Can you hear it? It's hungry." Lynn screamed, snatched a burning incense stick from the altar, and plunged it into his chest. The flame flared bright, the smell of scorched flesh filled the room. He let out a guttural scream and fell. For a moment, silence. Then Min gasped, eyes clearing. "Lynn, you have to kill me. If you don't, it'll come back stronger." She shook her head, tears streaming. "I can't. Do it, don't let the charm live on." He grabbed her wrist, pressed a ritual dagger into her trembling hand. "Cut, here," he whispered, pointing to his chest. "Only blood can break the seal." "I'm sorry," she sobbed, and drove the blade in. Blood burst out, mingling with the incense smoke. Outside, the wind wailed like 1,000 voices screaming. The light flickered violently, and then went out. A single, horrible scream tore through the dark, echoing until it faded into silence. When the smoke cleared, Lynn was on the floor, shaking, her hands covered in blood. Before her, Min lay motionless. But his shadow remained. It stood upright on the wall, watching her. Its voice was faint, but unmistakably clear. "Blood can destroy the body, but not the curse. I'll return. Lynn, I'm the part you're still missing." The shadow dissolved into a thin wisp of smoke, and slipped straight into the wound on her hand. Lynn screamed, collapsing as crimson light pulsed beneath her skin. Outside, the church bell tolled through the fog. A single drop of her blood hit the floor, spreading slowly into a red spiral, identical to the mark on the cursed box from that night long ago. 3 days after that night, Hanoi drowned in endless rain. Lynn sat blankly on the doorstep of her boarding house, the dim yellow light casting a sickly glow across her pale face. The smell of wet earth, rusted metal, and burned incense hung heavy in the air, thick and metallic. Like something decaying. Her chest felt weighed down, like a stone pressing against her heart. Min was dead. And yet, she could still hear his voice. At first, it was faint, a whisper brushing the back of her neck. "Don't cry, Lynn, I'm still here." She flinched and turned sharply. No one. The room was empty, damp walls, rattling windows, and the faint moan of wind slipping through the cracks. She clutched her head, trembling. I'm losing my mind." The voice came again, clearer now, inside her skull. "No, you're not crazy. You and I are one now." Lynn collapsed to her knees, heart hammering. "Min, if it's really you, what do you want from me?" "It's not me. It's the charm. It's hungry. It needs blood." "Shut up," she screamed, covering her ears. "I don't want to hear you." The door burst open. The landlady poked her head in, irritated. "Lynn, what's all this yelling? The neighbors are complaining again." Lynn forced herself to breathe evenly. "Nothing, ma'am. I was just talking on the phone." The woman frowned, eyeing her pale face. "Talking to who? You look like death. Go to bed. Stop staying up all night." The door closed with a thud. Silence fell again. Thunder rumbled somewhere beyond the fog, and the wind howled through the cracks like a low human groan. Lynn sat down, hugging her knees. The lamp flickered weakly. Then, movement. A reflection shimmered in the mirror. Min's face. But his eyes were pitch black, the whites completely gone. She whispered, her voice barely a breath. Is that really you?" His reflection smiled, a cold, lifeless grin. "More real than ever. You think killing me ended it? Your blood mixed with mine. You're the new vessel now." "No, I don't want this." "Doesn't matter. The charm chose you." The voice stretched, echoing like it came from underground. Her chest burned, the old wound searing again. She looked down. Thin streams of blood were leaking from the scar, glistening red. Then, the blood began to move. It crawled, forming a twisting spiral, the mark of the blood charm. She screamed, grabbed a knife, and bolted for the door. But as she yanked it open, Someone was standing in the hall. A thin girl from the same floor. Her hair soaked, eyes dazed. "Lynn, are you okay?" Lynn gasped for air. "I'm fine. Why are you here this late?" "I heard you crying. It scared me. Thought I'd check on you." She glanced into the room and shivered. "Did you burn incense? It smells awful." Lynn followed her gaze and froze. 3 incense sticks were burning bright red in the center of the room. She hadn't lit them. I didn't." The other girl suddenly pointed, panicked. "Lynn, blood." Lynn looked down. A long trail of blood snaked from where she stood all the way to the mirror, fresh. Dark, still warm. But her feet were clean. The girl trembled. "Lynn, are you hurt?" "No, it's not mine." They both backed away. From inside the mirror came a faint tapping, slow, deliberate, like fingernails scratching glass. The girl screamed, "Let's get out of here." Before they could move, the reflection lunged forward. The mirror shattered. A blackened hand shot out, wrapping around the girl's neck. Lynn screamed, "No, let her go." The hand squeezed and pulled her in. The girl vanished into the mirror with a sickening snap. Only silence followed. Lynn froze. The floor gleamed wet with a single pool of blood, reflecting the flickering light. Min's voice echoed, flat and cold. "You see? It has to feed. The more you resist, the hungrier it gets. I don't want to kill anyone. No one ever does. But the charm doesn't ask permission." Lynn slammed her fists against the wall, tears streaming. "Min, if any part of you is still human, help me end this." Silence. Then his voice, softer, weaker, human again. "Lynn, listen. In your chest, it's inside there now. You had to go to the lake, Hon Kiem, where it was born. Only a full moon can seal it again." "How? What do I use?" "Blood. You'll have to offer your blood one last time." She clenched her fists. "If I do that, will you disappear?" A pause. Then, "Maybe." Outside, the rain stopped. The distant church bell tolled through the thick, silent night. Lynn looked into the mirror one last time. Min's reflection faded, dissolving into smoke. She raised her head, her eyes glistening but resolute. Her voice shook but was firm. "Fine, when the full moon comes, I'll end this." The light flickered and went out. In the dark, a soft whisper brushed her ear. A faint, almost playful laugh. That night, the full moon hung in the sky like a white eye, cold and watchful. The red river wind howled endlessly, carrying with it a chill of damp mist. Sword Lake lay utterly still, its surface glimmering with silver light. Lynn walked alone, dressed in black. In her hands was an old wooden box wrapped in red cloth, the very thing that had started all the tragedy. Inside her chest, that voice still whispered, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. "So you've come to the place where I was born." She bit her lip and walked faster. Across the lake, beneath an ancient banyan tree, a shadow waited. It was the old exorcist, still alive. The faint glow of an oil lamp lit up his wrinkled face, his hollow eyes piercing as if they could see straight through one's soul. "I'm here," Lynn said, her voice trembling. The exorcist nodded slightly and slowly laid out items on a straw mat. A bowl of chicken blood, 3 incense sticks, a yellow talisman, and a small ritual knife. "Do you still have the blood of the one who died because of the charm?" She pulled out a tiny glass vial containing dried blood. "Yes, Min's blood." The old man sighed. "Then it's enough. But hear me well, you might die tonight." "I'm not afraid." He looked at her for a long moment, sorrow flickering in his eyes. "The blood charm isn't easily sealed. It demands blood, and now, your blood has become one with it." Lynn gripped the wooden box tightly. "I just want peace. For me, and for Min." The exorcist placed the talisman on the ground and sprinkled white salt into a ring. "When the moon reaches its peak, open the box. Your blood must touch it. If the charm accepts, it will sleep again. If not, it will consume your soul." Lin nodded and sat inside the salt ring. The moon had risen high, white and ghostly bright. Wind swept across the lake, and the mist rose like phantom smoke. The exorcist lit the incense and began to chant. The wind grew stronger, carrying with it a metallic stench, the smell of fresh blood. Lin opened the box. Inside was a small talisman, curled up, black and glistening as if alive. The moment she lifted the lid, the air turned icy cold. A faint moan escaped from within. "Dear heaven," the exorcist muttered. Stepping back, "It's awake." Lin took the knife and slashed her palm. Blood dripped onto the charm, thick and dark red. The charm writhed, then spread open like raw, living flesh. Min's voice echoed inside her head, aching with sorrow. "Lin, don't feed it anymore. Stop." She clenched her jaw. "No, I have to end this." The charm screeched, and a cloud of black smoke burst out of the box, wrapping around her body. Lin fell backward, trembling violently. Through the haze, she saw Min's face forming within the smoke, thin, sorrowful, eyes deep with grief. "Please, Lin, you're killing yourself." "I know, but if I don't, who will?" The wind roared, the smoke thickened. The exorcist shouted, "Lin, keep your mind steady, it's pulling your soul out." She bit her lip until it bled. Suddenly, a piercing, grotesque laugh echoed inside her skull. "Blood, delicious. You think you can escape me, Lin?" The charm slithered out of the box, coiling around her neck like a serpent. She struggled, screaming, "Let me go." The exorcist hurled a talisman and chanted, "Heavenly spirits above, earth spirits below, stop the blood, destroy the charm." A green flame burst from the talisman. The charm shrieked, its black smoke scattering over the lake. Lin collapsed, gasping, blood trickling from her nose. The exorcist rushed to her, trembling. "Can you still endure it?" I'm alive." But before she could finish, the lake began to boil. From the rippling water, a figure slowly rose, Min. He stood half submerged, his eyes pure white. "Min," Lin's voice shook, "you're alive?" He gave a faint, bitter smile. "No, I never died. I'm what's left behind, the part of the charm." The exorcist stepped back, raising the knife. "Don't let him near." Min walked across the water, his voice calm as the wind. "Lin, don't believe him. The charm doesn't harm, it only wants to live. Like me, like you." "No," Lin whispered, "you're not Min anymore." He reached out, eyes filled with longing and madness. "I'm everything you still love. If you kill me, you'll be empty forever." The lake surged, waves crashing violently. The moonlight shimmered eerily on the surface. The exorcist screamed, "Lin, kill it, now." Her hand shook as she gripped the knife. Min looked at her. That same gaze from long ago, warm, sad, familiar. "Lin, do you dare?" She cried, voice trembling. "I'm sorry." She plunged the knife into his chest. Blood sprayed, mixing with the water. Min smiled faintly, then dissolved into mist. The moon dimmed, the wind died. Silence blanketed the lake. Lin collapsed, gasping for air. The exorcist looked around, voice unsteady. "It's done, but do you see it?" "See what?" He pointed to the lake. Where Min vanished, blood spread into a red spiral, identical to the old charm mark. Then slowly, it sank into the depths and disappeared. He murmured, "It's not dead, just asleep." The wind stirred again. The moon reappeared, round and bright, casting its pale glow on Lin's face, ghostly white, void of life. She looked at her hand. The wound had closed. But on her palm, a faint red spiral was forming, twisting tight. She smiled faintly. "Maybe it's my turn to feed you now." A week had passed since that full moon night at Sword Lake. Hanoi was still the same, bright lights, busy streets, people drifting quietly through the thin morning mist. But to Lin, everything felt different. She moved out of her old boarding room and rented a small place in an alley near Lang Pagoda. By day, she worked part-time at a pharmacy. At night, she'd sit for hours by the window, staring into the drizzle as it fell softly on the tin roof. She thought she was finally at peace. Until the seventh night. The wind hissed through the cracks in the door. In the mirror, her reflection blurred and flickered, as if someone was breathing against the glass. Then that voice returned, soft as a sigh. "It's been a while, Lynn." She jumped to her feet, heart pounding. Who's there? Don't you remember me? I'm you. The part you left under the lake." Her hands trembled as she backed away. "No, I ended it already." "Not yet. The charm doesn't die. It only moves." The light went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Lynn fumbled for her phone, the dim blue glow spilling across the wall. There, her shadow. But it was moving, while she stood still. The shadow raised its hand and smiled. "Do you miss men?" Her breath quickened. "What do you want?" "Blood, and freedom." "No, I won't kill anyone again." "No need, just let me live." Suddenly, her wrist burned. A red spiral on her skin began to bleed, spreading up her arm. She fell to her knees, clutching her hand, screaming in agony. "Get out, I'm not your host anymore." The dark figure on the wall crumpled too, twisting as if strangled. The voice turned into a hiss. "You think you can escape? My blood runs in yours. When you sleep, I'll rise." She bit her lip until it bled. "I'm not afraid of you anymore." Lynn bolted from the room, running into the stormy night. The streets were empty, yellow lights flickering on wet pavement. Few people passed by, no one noticed her trembling. She ran and ran, until she reached Sword Lake. The moon hid behind the clouds, its light pale and thin. The lake was still, black, reflecting her frail, shaking figure. "Listen to me," she whispered hoarsely. "I won't feed you anymore. My life belongs to me." Laughter echoed softly around the lake, rising from beneath the water. "No one abandons a charm. Only the charm abandons you." The water at her feet began to boil, dark ripples spreading outward. Black smoke rose, curling around her ankles. From the surface appeared Min's face, pale, lifeless, eyes hollow. "Lynn, why did you leave me?" "You're not Min." He smiled, voice flat. "But you still love me." She wept, her tears mixing with the rain. "I loved Min, not the thing wearing his face." He sank slowly back into the depths, whispering one last line. "Then come down, and be with me." A gust of wind hit her. Lynn lost her balance, tumbling forward. But a hand caught her. It was the old exorcist. He stood there in the rain, soaked to the bone, eyes deep and knowing. "Do you wish to die, child?" he asked softly. She gasped for breath. It came back. "I know," he said, looking toward the lake. "The blood charm never dies, because the human heart never truly lets go." He pulled a small talisman from his sleeve and placed it in her palm. "To live, keep your heart still. Fear makes it stronger." She gripped the talisman tightly and nodded. "I understand." He turned and disappeared behind the trees. Lynn watched him go, feeling hollow inside. The wind stopped. The lake grew calm again. She sat down by the water's edge, watching the moon peek out from the clouds. The talisman in her hand was soaked, clinging to her skin. Then she heard a faint laugh, right beside her ear. "How long can you keep this up, Lynn?" She said nothing. Her lips moved slightly, almost unconsciously. "As long as I'm still breathing, you'll never win." The laughter faded. Only the wind remained, rustling softly over the water. And in its reflection shimmered a shadow. Not hers. Smiling, before dissolving into the night. And so, the story of Blood Charm ends here. Perhaps, the charm isn't dead at all. Maybe it's just lying dormant somewhere. In the blood of someone, listening to this story right now. If tonight, you happen to hear a whisper close to your ear, don't turn around. Because who knows? Someone might be standing right behind you, smiling, just like Lin once saw by the Sword Lake. Hanoi's lights still shine, people still live. But beneath those narrow alleys, there are secrets that should never be uncovered. Thank you for staying with darkness in the night. If this story made your heart skip a beat, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you won't miss the next chilling tale. Sleep well. And remember, don't dream of blood. The content in this video is a work of horror fiction, created purely for entertainment to evoke a thrilling experience. We do not promote superstition or encourage any dangerous behavior mentioned in the story. Any resemblance to real people, places, or events is purely coincidental. Thank you sincerely for accompanying darkness in the night.